What's up? Got the 6-inch lift on the Renegade. Here's what the old parts, very ugly. But before talking about the lift, I want to tell you guys, I got the computer Reflash by Wholesale ATV. 112 bucks. You mail them your computer, they reflash it based off of what pipes you're running and all that. And they fixed all my running issues. This thing runs perfect now. It used to run really lean and at low RPMs and kind of had some misfiring going on and stuttering. It's perfect now. So ECU, which is right there, those guys did an awesome job. Called me, very nice to deal with, asked me, hey, what do you want changed and all that stuff. So highly recommend them. I'll post a link in the description. So as far as lift kit goes, the installation was a huge pain in the ass. Half because Super ATV is not perfect, and half because Can-Am is just designed freaking terrible. So stuff like this is the front brake line, the stock one. All three of these brake lines are one piece. So you have to dig them all out of there, and they're buried beneath the snorkel and the radiator tank and everything else. So the brake lines in the front were just a huge pain in the ass. And the Super ATV gives you like 10 brake lines because this kit fits everything from the Renegade XMR to the Outlander 570L, because Can-Ams are all the same shit, right? So it's a very universal kit because of that they give you all these brake lines and they're not labeled. So have fun figuring out what goes where. It wasn't that hard, but it was annoying. They should have been labeled. As far as brake line routing goes, you can kind of see how I did mine. It goes up like that. Obviously my lift came yellow and I rattle canned it and a lot of it scraped off during the install, whatever, don't give a shit. But yeah, brake lines were probably the big pain in the ass in the front. Also, this arm came kind of smushed, so I had to put it in the floor jack, open up the floor jack to kind of spread it open, then it installed fine. Not a huge deal. I've had a lot of lifts come like that. It just happens. The welds creep a little bit when they cool, and no big deal. It wasn't off that much, maybe half an inch. But my big complaint is that I bought these really nice skinny wheels for this lift specifically, right? Because I wanted to keep the bike narrow. Well, they made their shock mount so far out that when you turn, I hit the shock a little bit. So I got to figure that out. That's pretty annoying. The rear install was way easier. I installed the rear in like an hour versus like 4 hours on the front. Definitely pretty involved, but not too bad. A few little tricks with Can-Am stuff, but not too bad. To get the axles in the diff, put the bolt through the front, get them all hanging there normally. Put the axle in here, take the shock, kick the shock out, and if you swing the arm up high, it'll push the axle into the diff itself, so that's pretty easy. But yeah, no real tricks here. I left my preload pretty soft. Did stiffen up the clickers because the tire's farther from the wheel now, so you need more dampening. So I pretty much shut off all the bypasses, so should have more dampening all the way around. What else? Oh, here's my 32-inch 32-inch paddle tires, which are really gonna be like 33s. Even the manufacturer says they run high. Oh yeah, so why didn't I get the Catbos lift? Well, Catbos is ridiculously overpriced and it uses Turner axles, and I hate Turner axles. I had them on my Rubicon and it ruined the bike, and I ended up selling the lift. That's how bad those axles were. I went through an axle every single ride, even though that bike has 25 horsepower or less than that, probably 22 horsepower at the wheels. So I will never buy Turner axles again, nor will I buy a lift that comes with them. So Catbos was out the window immediately, plus way too expensive. There's nothing wrong with these arms. These arms are beautiful, nice arch, really well maximized ground clearance. The boots get a little close to the arm. Actually, they touch at full down travel, but that's what limiting straps are for. No complaints. This lift is definitely stronger than this piece of crap Can-Am frame, so you're not going to break these arms before anything else breaks. Stuff that was annoying is like this bolt right here. It's kind of hidden in here, and it's really hard to get that bolt out. You can't fit a wrench on there. You can't really get a ratchet on it without pulling the radiator and stuff, so just a pain in the ass. This top shock bracket was a pain in the ass because my bumper mounts to where that shock bracket mounts, so I'm having to push my bumper forward and all kinds of crap. And you can see how I have a gap here now that's bigger than it was before. Whatever, it's because this lift was designed to fit any Gen 2, like the 570L for instance. This lift fits that because all Can-Ams are the exact same frame and arms. Everyone thinks, oh, the Renegade's different. Oh, the 1000's different. Nope, all the same bike, dumbasses. The only bikes that are different is the XMR 1000s because they have the big diff and the low gears in the transmission. Every other Can-Am is geared the same in low range. So if you have an XMR 570, 650, or 850, you're a moron. You don't have low gears. Run 30-inch Zillas. Don't put outlaws on it. You're gonna go through belts. Do plan on doing clutching on this eventually. One thing that kind of sucks about the Super ATV lift is that these arms do hang down beneath the axle a little bit. On the Catbos lift, it's almost parallel with the axle. So you get a little more clearance with the Catbos. However, this protects the axle better and the boot. So tomato, I don't know. Once you get the front wheels off the ground, however, not even an issue, right? Because it's raked so much that when you start doing a water wheelie, you get way more ground clearance, which is kind of interesting. But I got my angle set really conservative. I'm just gonna ride soft. I do want to add limiting straps. A bunch of people have recommended that, and you guys are totally right. The max down travel on this bike is insane. The axles are double plunging. They can handle the angle as far as not binding, but the heat and the horsepower and everything like that, they're gonna explode. I probably will end up putting Demon axles or Cobras. If you want Cobras for the 6-inch Super ATV lift, they will sell you them, but you got to get King Cobras. You can't get HDs. It's kind of annoying. But overall, pretty happy with the lift. Definitely for the money. It's a great lift. Axles are crap, but if I got one route out of these axles, this lift would be worth it. I mean, it was $1,800 for the entire thing, including, you know, new bearings and new hub bearings and new swing arm bearings. Capos doesn't do that for you, by the way. All I had to do was put ball joints and bushings. Don't reuse your bushings like the instructions say. That's stupid. Bushings and ball joints are cheap. Always put new bushings and ball joints when you get a chance. The instructions for this bike are terrible. Don't try doing it yourself. If you've never done a lift before, like a long arm lift, get someone who knows what they're doing to help you, because the instructions are going to leave you hanging every step of the way. They're just freaking garbage. But yep, overall it's done, and I'm pretty happy with it. And hopefully maybe I'll test it out tomorrow for you guys.